All right, what's going on, everyone? Back at it again with another episode from Solomon's Crown. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, it'll help us out a lot. So, we're about to do another review video. It's on the clip by Fresh and Fit. Women always find loopholes. And I think this special guest that we have here is Tommy Sotomayor, one of the quote unquote founding fathers of the red pill, I guess you would say. But this is what he has to say.
With slavery, what happened is you had black people who was free who came and they had put them in chains. Well, when you put them in chains, the hardest part about it was since they were used to being free, it was hard to get them used to being enslaved. So you had to beat them. Some of them killed themselves or revolted because they weren't used to this. But here's the problem. The ones who were left that kept producing children, they were all born with slavery. They thought slavery was normal. They were born into being slaves. So that's what you had after the 60s. The 60s, first off, produced a bunch of people that came from families, and they weren't used to that. But you had women who said, I could struggle with you, or I could take this money that the government's giving me, and all I got to do is sleep with you. I can have your kid and then kick you out. So it seemed like a good idea for them. I said with slavery, what happened is you had black people who was free.
So that's the thing is like, why would that, like, what person thinks like, yo, it would be easier to just collect money and raise this kid by myself?
So you got to look at it from the context of the 60s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I would, if I'm not correct, I got to find the stats for this, but I think from like slavery up to Jim Crow up to the 60s, like black couples were always married. Like if you were wanted to be with this girl, like you had to have married. If you want sexual access to this girl, you have to be married to her. We're the most like married group compared to other minorities and other groups in the States. But it was always like, because of the systems that were in place, a lot of black men couldn't have like high tier jobs. Most of us, we migrated to like say Chicago and up in the Northeast and stuff for factory jobs, factory work. So, we were the main providers. And a lot of times wives may have to supplement income. But I think once, the whole feminism movement, right, came along in the 60s, and they kind of convinced women, black women who had nothing to do with the white woman's plight, that, hey, like, you're being oppressed, all this stuff, like, you don't have to be under the rule of your husband. And we didn't have a problem with our women, period, but somehow they convinced them that, hey, it's better to do that than to deal with a man. And then as Mr. Sotomayor pointed out, it's kind of like you have some women who are like, do I fall under the lead of a man? Like, am I really being oppressed by, this man? Wouldn't it be easier to just take this money from the government and wouldn't have to deal with a man telling me what to do, blah, 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 blah? So a lot of women are fighting against it. And it didn't help in the 80s when the crack epidemic came around and black men were locked up en masse. So that didn't help either. So as he said,
they forced a lot of women into the life decisions because I mean, a dude like back in that time frame, you could just go to jail for drinking at a water fountain. And
the black code laws.
Also, just like people being lynched and
because a lot of those laws came about from after slavery, because it was like you had all these free black men, free black people, and they were like, yo, we got to keep them in line. So they had vagrancy laws or black code laws where it's like you literally any little minor thing they could lock you up. And as I said, the crack epidemic didn't help that, taking the black fathers, uncles, and brothers off the streets. So now women,
we did it was Ahmaud Arbery, like in Georgia where they still had those laws
Hmm.
where like those dudes almost got away with that shit because of the laws that were stated. And if his mom hadn't got the laws changed, which it helped her case dramatically, like other people's kids would have been killed. And it was just
But
like,
yeah, but it's just one of those things where it just made the choice easy for black women to be like, yo, screw this. Like, I'm going to take the government money and I can get child support and all this other stuff. So now we have modern day where we just talked about, the lack of family in the black community. We talked about like women being more out there, not caring about legacy, and men the same way, just busting nuts and bunch of random chicks and having kids everywhere and all this bunch of degeneracy and lack of trying to build the family, which is why, in my opinion, why the black community in general is the way it is. Um, it's unfortunate,
I
but
literally can't think of anybody in my friend group who has two parents besides one of my homeboys.
it's normal now.
Like him, and then like everybody else is single family raised homes or their grandparents raised them. And the thing was, the grandparents all were together, like
Hmm.
is like till death do us part. So everybody's grandparents literally are a couple, and then their kids weren't in the couples or weren't coupled up.
Hmm.
Maybe it's because I don't know, man. Like I know why my mom was single, but the men were just
Um,
shittier,
uh,
maybe. Like, and that's me looking at it from like being raised by my mom. Like, my dad wasn't shit.
but in the end, it's like the government wins, kind of, because
I
they
mean,
don't
not in
want.
my situation. I never got child support, bro. But maybe my mom was just like, yo, I don't care about it so much because I mean, we struggled, but it was
There,
never like,
yeah, there's some women that just they don't like the dad is an actual piece of shit, so they're
uh,
like, yo, I'm good off him.
yeah. I mean,
But
not to mention, I don't think he ever had any money because, like I said, I had like 12 brothers and sisters. Like, so
yeah, we already talked about that. You know, like again, men, it's if you want to do this wall stuff and have a bunch of baby mamas and being perpetually broke for the rest of your life, that's up to you. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff I think as a black community that we gotta kind of train ourselves out of. But it's like I
it's
just
not
feel like we're
easy.
just at the bottom at all times. Like
Well, the
can
biggest thing
never
with the
win as a
black
community.
community is like we don't want to help each other. Like, we'll get fucked over by somebody, or like we'll blame it on the way that we were raised and this and that. I mean, go back to our story where me and you were pretty much doing the same things and we were kind of struggling to get anything going. And then it was just like we were transferring or passing information to each other so much. It was like, yo, why don't we just work together?
Yeah,
I mean, we started another podcast that went downhill because of one of the situations that happens in the black community where one person tries to take over, or they like whatever was going on with that
whether
dude.
it's ego or whatever it is.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
we're trying to be professional, and it's like, oh, y'all bougie, like, and it's just like, bougie how, bro? Like, I want to be a professional to a certain extent, especially if we're trying to start a business. Like, YouTube is hypothetically a business at this
no, it
point.
is. It
Like,
is a business, especially now. Like it's not like in the 2000s where you could just post random funny stuff or random stuff and get hella views. Like
and
now
people
everyone's
do,
trying to. I mean, people do,
but
but
that's not like, I mean, that's a hit or miss. Like, people are always going to look for something to go viral, but that doesn't
yeah,
mean like that's the thing. If you look at TikTok, and this is like a tangent a little bit, but if you look at TikTok, as soon as somebody's video blows up, what do? They literally only do those type of videos. So like there's one dude who I saw him like making creative videos and stuff like that. He hit his first million, and then all his videos after that were the same thing, same audio, same thing. Uh, and you see it all the time where it's like a chick can literally get on TikTok, shake her ass one time, she gets a million views. What is she doing for the rest of the time? Showing her ass. Oh, I seen a chick who like literally like rips off her shirt and like titties pop out. Like not literally, but like she has like tight shirts. And like that's the only videos that she does for the most part. And then she'll do another video where she'll be like, today I'm gonna look at my cosmetic shit, and everybody's like, no, skip. Where the titties at? Like so that was just me going off on the tangent.
But yeah, man, there's a lot of work to be done. And until both black men and black women get together, we're just gonna be stuck in this perpetual loop because I I mean, granted, I grew up in, Jamaica. I mean, but Jamaica still has a baby mother, baby father issue, but the difference is that it's more of like a common law thing. So like you'll see, couples be together, not officially married under, I guess, the traditional way, but under
Mhm.
the government, they're seen as a common law marriage, right? And a lot of fathers are still in their kids' lives, whether they have to hustle, like sell donuts on the roadside, or like do whatever, like they're trying to make money for their kids,
Yeah,
or
it was just like when I was in Ghana, like the cab driver who always picked me up, like
hmm
he was just like, yeah, man, like we had like a real heart to heart. And who knows? I mean, he's a cab driver. I'm American. He's trying to get money. So who knows if the
hmm
story's true? But
hmm
essentially, he was just like, yeah, I work from sun up to sundown. And all the money that he makes is for his kids. He said he had 3 kids. And like, I remember him hitting me up when his car broke down. He's like, yo, my car broke down. Like, can you spare me some money? This is my only business, this, and that. And that's what a lot of the people hated about me. Well, not hated about me, but they'd always like question my motives. Cause I'd go down to Ghana and then like some dude be trying to sell me a picture and he'd be like, oh, it's like $60 for this picture. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. But it's a hand drawn picture, like, and I still have all that stuff, like hand carved, like drums and things like that. And of course, everybody's gonna go out there and be like, "Yo, hustle these dudes out of like all the hard work that they do and shit like that." But like when I went down there, I would literally just be like, "No, that's kind of dope. How much you want for it? 50? All right, bet. Here you go." I bought a bunch of shit in Ghana that I didn't even need, like just because I was just like, "Yo, I'm trying to support somebody." I mean, but that's the thing is like we're always taking scraps, like
I mean, it starts with the family, period.
period.
But everyone, it seems like everyone, especially in the black community, they don't want to do anything. Nipsey Hussle got killed. People laugh at Master P. Like a lot of these
Soldier
other guys
Boy.
that push, yeah, all these other guys that trying to push businesses or black
Like
businesses.
imagine the dude who made the
Yeah,
Nintendo Switch getting laughed out by other like Japanese people. Like
no, that will never happen in Asian culture.
I mean, even
Period.
Microsoft, like Americans low key should be buying Microsoft and Xbox over PlayStations and
Yeah.
Sony. But like also corporate greed plays a big part in that because Japanese PlayStation, Sony, they actually provide what their customers want, whether it
hmm
be good games, and then they're not even killing it on one platform, they're killing it on two, they're killing it on Nintendo and Sony. So they
hmm
have the market locked down. And I remember this is a tangent, but this goes into like how togetherness really like plays a big part. When Monster Hunters originally released, it was big in Japan because it was like a cult classic. Like Japanese people were like, "Yo, this game is awesome," and then eventually it spread to America. But like Japanese people, like whenever a game comes out, like that's why Mario Kart is so good. Mario Party, like they actually have a togetherness where it's like, "Yo, I'm gonna get my Switch, and then we're gonna really go down and play video games." And it's not like, "Hey, man, I got a Switch," and then your shit gets stolen in the hood.
Yeah.
Like imagine being like the dude being like, "Yo, we're all gonna bring our switches," and then like the dude without a switch just steals your shit,
Yeah.
and
That.
then they
Yeah.
stop talking to you, and then they all go play switches until one of them is like, "Oh, he got that game I want," and then it steals it, and it's like. I remember growing up in the hood, and that's how it was, bro. Like, I went to the YWCA, and I remember my mom bought me, or my grandfather bought me the Power Rangers, like 5-piece set that it morphed into like the Megazords. And I took that shit up there like twice. The first time, some dude wanted to play and he was like, "Oh, yeah, I want to play with that, blah, blah, blah." this and that. And I was like, yo, we only got 5 pieces. Next time I brought it up there, I couldn't find them. And I was like, all right, whatever. Put my shit in the cubby, like where all my stuff was, gone, stolen. And it's just like, bro, I literally bought this to play with other people so that I could be like, yo, we all ain't got shit, but like I got this shit and I want to play with you guys and like bring this to the community. And what did like my shit got stolen?
Yep, and then you just magnify that to the societal level, and it's how it is. It's like every man for himself.
Yeah.
Like, and anyone that tries to be like, yo, I'm gonna try to do this for the give back to the community, do this for the community, it's like he gets killed or
Yeah.
laughed at or no one supports him. So
Even Kendrick Lamar, bro. Like everybody, like we follow a lot of pages, and most of the people who were given negative criticism towards Kendrick Lamar were blacks.
yep.
And it's just like, bro, he's literally talking about things that we deal with, things that are generationally been problems in the black community. And they're just like, if it ain't Lil Uzi Vert or NBA young boy, like I don't want it because they're like, yo, I don't want to think about like
Yeah.
shit like that. And it's just like that's the big problem. It's like other races and cultures will literally be like, yo, this is a problem. How do we change this? Work together, bet. And then they solve problems. Like the black community is just like, Kendrick Lamar is talking about that woke shit again, or like J. Cole's talking about like making money and going to college. Like, oh, like why would motherfuckers be talking about that? And it's literally coming down to like, yo, is a beat fire? But because they're just numbing themselves to like what is
Mm-hmm.
actually the problem. It's just like, bro, what is Future really rapping about?
Nothing.
Like, yeah, he's got bangers. Like, oh yeah, like I just fucked this bitch in my Gucci flip flops. Like, yo, that's a hard ass bar. Like, but like then everybody's over here buying Gucci flip flops just to fuck some random chick and get her pregnant and then have to pay child support for the next 18 years. So it's like Future can do shit like that because he's a multimillionaire. Joe Smo, who just spent his last dollars getting Gucci flip flops. And even if it's not your last dollar and you got money to buy Gucci flip flops, why, bro? I'm a hypocrite though, because I got mad Jordans. So, but even with that being said, I buy Jordans that I want, and low key, I've been weaning myself off of Jordans because like the quality of Jordans isn't what it used to be. I have a pair of Jordans that I bought in my senior year that are still more comfortable than most of the new Jordans that I bought in the last 6 years. But a lot of people are in that mentality. 2K just dropped. I bet you won't find your man anywhere because it's like, oh, it's 2K season. And then football season rolls right into that. Like men are simple, to be honest. You cook a dude a sandwich while he's playing 2K, probably take you out to dinner or something after he's done. Maybe some of these dudes are just grimy, and I see why a lot of these females be bitching because it's like, yo, this dude played 2K for like 16 hours, no job. She's at work. I
She's in that
mean,
situation herself. Like, don't deal with a bum dude.
bro, those are high value dudes because he lays pipe after he gets off of 2K.
Yeah, that's what they want. So,
Hey man, I mean, I could be playing 2K, but here we are providing content for our viewers. So I'm not playing 2K though. That shit seems addicting. Like, cause like you know how it is. Like you start playing a game, you're like, yo, I suck at this, and then all of a sudden it's like, yo, I gotta be better. So you put in a lot of hours, like me,
yeah.
about to go play Apex. But if y'all into gaming, check me out, Willie Main 07. Be on Twitch streaming. But until next time,
Peace.
peace.